Yeah, you know, data is actually a national problem. In every sector, you find that without data is not so good. And even now, as I'm talking to you, if you ask me as a professor of agriculture, what is the total number of farmers in Nigeria, I cannot be able to give you the exact figure. When you go to the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, the figure might differ. When you go to the state, when you go to the All Farmers Association of Nigeria, the figure will also differ. So there is still this data deficit in Nigeria, not just in the agricultural subsector, but in all the other sectors. Now, what we did after that was that after identifying the farmers, knowing their farms, and then knowing the kind of crops they are growing, money was being dispensed to them. But you know, in the typical Nigerian factor, your in-law will come at a time. I need some of the money. He doesn't have a farm. And your wife is nagging you in the night. So you have no alternative, you know. You have to bend the rules at times. Definitely rules were bent under that condition, definitely. But then the overall view, when you look at it, it has actually made rice particularly a stable crop in Nigeria. And for the first time in the history of Nigeria, Nigerians were able to produce the rice to feed themselves. The imports were stopped from India, from other countries. All the rice that were flooding the market, they were stopped. And don't forget, the borders were also closed.
I was going to say that. That also
you understand?
had
That also
impact.
has a big impact.
Yeah.
If the borders were closed, that means domestic production must rise because we must feed ourselves. So all this directly and indirectly affected agricultural productivity through the 8-year reign of late President Muhammadu Buhari. And I'm happy to say that I was actually part of the presidential. Professor Yemi Osibanjo, all the glory to him. He did an excellent job in that regard. Then it was from there we started saying, let's feed the school children. We noticed the nutritional gap in the country. Children were going to school without food, without the necessary nutrients, etc. And the school feeding program was initiated. And one of the major highlights of the school feeding program, they said all the people that are consulted to provide food to the peoples in the primary must be from that particular locality.
Yeah.
And secondly, whatever you're going to use in feeding the peoples must be sourced from that immediate locality, no external things. So that also gives a big boost to the farmers. Whatever they were producing, the caterers were coming to mop up, and then it made them to go into massive production because it was needed. So it was a kind of chain, like a chemical reaction. Once you ignite, you keep on seeing so many changes going around, and then we got youths that were able to have good IQ, well-fed in the school, and then the number of children that were not coming to school increased because of the food that was not being given to them. I remember in a particular case where we saw some guys of about 17, 18 years coming to a primary school that they are pupils.